Hey guys, welcome to session number 42 of the Trailer Music Composers Podcast. Let's get better. One man who was trained in pranic healing. Welcome to the Trailer Music Composers Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another session of the Trailer Music Composers Podcast. I hope you're well, I hope you had a nice week, and just want to refer back to last week. If you haven't had a chance to drop a review of my podcast, please do. It's a huge favour for me, so thank you very much in advance. Now, onward. I've had the pleasure of starting this wonderful company with Vikram Gudi called Protege, which some of you should know is... It's kind of hard to explain, really, except being freaking awesome. It's 30 weeks of mentoring from myself and Vikram with real-life briefs, with each week with a new course, teaching you different styles of trailer and advertising music each and every week, which then gets funneled through into our own library and sent out to the world with love. It's amazing, and one of the things we get to do is obviously we get to create courses teaching people all of the things we know. We get to give out briefs for them to work to in real time, and we get to give them feedback in real time. It's amazing. We are absolutely loving it, and it's just gone so well and is going so well. One of the things that's come up is about sound design. Now, sound design is fascinating because when we say sound design, when obviously talking in the Trailer Music Composers Podcast context, you guys know I'm talking about sound design cues, right? Which are tracks that have used sound design to create effective music. And so it's going to be a brief one today because actually I wanted to reiterate a couple of things. When we're doing sound design, we're not doing Foley, and we're not matching the sounds to the trailer. As in, like, when someone gets hit, we do a sound design hit. We're not doing sound design as in syncing it to the picture. We are doing sound design as in we are recording sound and designing it, manipulating it to write an effective piece of music. Sometimes when we talk about sound design, people get confused and almost create a soundscape, which is found sounds affected to make a new soundscape, where it's very busy and it sounds kind of like the real world, but with interesting and weird sounds. We are still looking to create a track that has atmosphere, build, and impact. So when you're doing your sound design, this is the step. You go out and capture some sounds. This is the next step. You load those sounds into your workstation. Next step, you then manipulate those sounds to create interesting signature sounds, interesting pads, interesting percussion, interesting hits, interesting risers, going through all of the toolkit elements, and then you write a piece of music with those sounds. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you can head on over to my YouTube channel where I've done some videos where I've recorded some I've recorded some sounds and then I've turned them into a track. It's a lot of fun to do, but you must remember that the sound design is the sound is the start, the design is the second point, the composing is the third. Your track still needs to feel like a piece of music, but it's got weird and interesting sounds in it. Whether they're organic sounds or whether they're electronic-based sounds that are generated from a synthesizer, that's up to you. But those are the steps you need to take, and you need to make sure that your track has interesting organic sounds in it or interesting electronic sounds in it that is then designed into a piece of music. It's such a common misnomer between sound design and sound design cues that I just felt I needed to explain, and just be like, guys, just make sure that when you do sound design, you're using those sound design elements as elements within a track, not as the track itself. Okay. And then what you do is you just go, okay, well, this is obviously creating atmosphere, this sound. which is great. And that's the lovely thing about sound design, is because they're unusual sounds, they immediately evoke an atmosphere. But then you go, well, how can I create a sound that's going to create a build? How can I create a sound? How can I design a sound that's going to give me impact? And Bob's your uncle. There you go. You have your sound design being used to make a sound design cue. It's really, 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 really simple, but it's one of those things that sometimes it needs to be pointed out. This is not that, and that is not this. And these are not they are. Them. There. I'm sorry if I sounded a bit lectury. I felt like I was getting a bit lectury then. I don't want to be lectury at all. I wanted to I'm very passionate about sounds, as you guys know. And I'm very passionate about helping people who don't necessarily have a theoretical background, or don't necessarily have a practical background in music, or don't even necessarily have a background at all in music. I'm very passionate about saying, guys, these are the tools you can use. You can use any of them. And in this case, you can go and use your Zoom mic and record loads of sounds and make an entirely original piece of music using only those sounds. If you want to make more interesting soundscapes that are kind of more of an artistic representation of the world we live in, then be my guest. But it might not be the most effective piece of trailer music or advertising music. Go check out some sound design cues on YouTube, whether it's organic sound design or electronic sound design. Your sound design can come from anywhere, but you have to have shaped the sound yourself, really. Or someone else has done it for you and you've just dropped the samples in there. But I'm very, very passionate about people using sound design. And I use the word sound design very, very loosely. Because to me, recording a cello and then mangling that cello is sound design. Even if it still sounds musical when it's mangled, it's still sound design. Because I'm still going, well, here's my original sound source, let's mess with it. So you need to understand that sound design is a tool and not a means to an end. Oh wait, no, that's not right. It's a tool and it's not the end itself. Is that right? It's the journey, not the... I think you guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't know anything about sound design, just try it. Go record you slamming a fridge, or go record you pinging a vase, and see if you can turn it into a piece of music. Sample it, put it into a keyboard, play it as a piano. Drop it an octave or 4, compress the hell out of it, cut it a little bit, see if you can make a kick drum. Just try it. It's a lot of fun. But what you're trying to do is you're using sound design to give a musical output, a musical endpoint. Yeah, guys, you can also check out Andrew Huang on YouTube. He does tons of that stuff too, where he's records a dolphin and then makes an EDM track from it. It's fascinating. Or actually, I think his good one was, what was it? Donald Trump's sniff. He made a track from a sniff that he sampled of Donald Trump going, which I found very entertaining. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy this and I found it's maybe enlightened you in some way. If not, found it entertaining. You guys are absolute legends. Again, drop a little review. Drop a little review on iTunes, that'd be great, thanks. Also, if you want to learn more about trailer music, head on over to the Trailer Music School. And of course, if you would like to take your career up to the next level, head on over to protege.school. Protege also has another podcast, I'll give this, hosted by a good friend of mine called Guy Jones, with actually my voiceover in the intro, which is lovely. Actually, it's, yeah. Anyway, which is Composer Stories, lots of interviews with amazing composers. You guys would love it, because obviously my most popular episodes on this podcast are the interviews, because let's face it, they're fascinating. I just don't have the time to record them every single week. Anywho, enough honesty. Thanks guys, you rock. See you next week.